I'm so glad to see you all. This is Humiya Hatsumi.
Nice to see you, I'm Michin the neighbor.
Don't you speak by yourself anymore?
It's completely because of you. I'd come here only to pass you a circular board. Being forced to sing until getting hoarse was not in my schedule.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't in my plan either. I just finished my first DTM composition and searched for someone to take the vocal part. Then you've just come, and it reminded me you'd been in a chorus club in your junior high.
In short, you thought I was a sucker, right?
Oh, absolutely not. It must be the plan of nature. Anyway, I deeply appreciate watching the videos in this channel. I, Humiya Hatsumi, the owner of this channel, is an amateur aspiring novelist. I made this channel to test my composition skill and organize the books and notes which have been stored for a long time. The themes of the commentary movies might be historical trivia. I'm so happy if you watch them as a screensaver of your relaxing time.
You've stacked books too much. The floor's collapsing.
Hey, stop telling the backstage to the guests. Now, we'd like to talk about Samadhi in Flame, a tale about the last moment of Ānanda, one of the leading disciples of Buddha.
There are many ways of calling and writing about him, but in this video, we call him Ānanda.
We refer to Wikipedia Japanese version to understand time series, and in addition, we refer to the Japanese version of the Great Tang Dynasty Record of the Western Regions Volume 2, written by Xuanzang, annotated by Shinjyo Mizutani, published in 1999. Xuanzang was a high priest of China in the 7th century. Now, please enjoy it. Okay, Michin, about speeches and the first videos, shorter is better. Who is Ānanda? Answer within 50 words.
Ānanda was a leading disciple of Buddha. He'd taken care of his old master until his last moment. He'd listened and remembered about Buddha's words most in the disciples, so he's known as the best listener of Buddha. And it might be the most important point, he was handsome.
49 words. Well done.
I learned him from manga. You love it too, right?
Okay,
Young.
stop it. Of course I love that manga, but the video won't finish in 10 minutes to introduce it. Now return to our topic. About Ānanda's life, there are a lot of interesting and detailed videos on YouTube, so please watch them. In this video, we focus on the tale of his last moment. Briefly introducing the era, Buddha and his disciples are said to live between BC 7th century and BC 5th century. It's still unclear. If they lived in the BC 7th century, they're in the same generation with Emperor Jinmu, the mythical emperor in Japan. Or, if they lived in BC 6th or 5th century, they're Confucius contemporaries. Alexander the Great, the king of Macedon, reached India in BC 327 or 326. In India, there wasn't a unified kingdom at that time. There are about 16 countries in the Ganges Valley, northern India.
Sounds weird, but it sometimes happens. Some historical figures are still uncleared when they lived.
Especially the people before Christ. According to one theory, Ānanda was 30 years younger than Buddha. If we adopt it, Ānanda was around 50 years old when Buddha entered Nirvana in Kushinagar. After that, he and the other disciples continued teaching their own students, compiling the Buddha's words into scriptures, and organizing Sangha, the Buddhist community to preserve their master's teaching. Many of the sutras read in Japan begin with the phrase, "Thus have I heard." That I is believed, in many cases, to refer to Ānanda.
Yeah, that line's in the chanting book at my family's Buddhist altar too. The sutras that start with "Thus have I heard."
If you're Buddhist and curious about it, take a look at the book at your own altar. As time passed, Ānanda became the successor to Mahakassapa, who himself had succeeded the Buddha. Ānanda then guided disciples in the kingdom of Magadha.
Where's Magadha?
It was a kingdom in northeastern India, later the foundation of the Mauryan Empire. It lay east of Kosala, the Buddha's homeland, in the Ganges River basin. Ānanda was staying there, teaching monks in training. One day, while walking through a forest, he came across a young novice monk reciting a sutra incorrectly, one that didn't even make proper sense.
Well, they couldn't exactly publish sutras back then. If he was just a kid, he probably just read it the way his teacher taught him.
Since Ānanda had heard the Buddha's teachings directly, he couldn't allow mistakes to be passed down to later generations. So he approached the novice and corrected him.
And he was reported as a suspicious man.
There was no emergency hotline in the before Christ era. Actually, the novice said like this, "You are old, sir, and what you're saying is mistaken. My master is young and learned. There is no error in what he tells."
Ouch! He got dismissed as a senile old man. That's shocking.
More than being hurt personally, I think Ānanda felt shocked because the Buddha's teachings were his whole life. Despite all his efforts, he saw them gradually changing. Maybe he felt powerless in the real world. He even lamented, "I don't have any reason to live any longer," and decided to cross the Ganges to the northern kingdom across from Magadha Vaisali, also known as the Vaji. The king of Magadha tried to stop and pursued him with an army. Meanwhile, the king of Vaji was delighted that Ānanda was coming and sent out his own army to welcome him. With Ānanda in a boat between them, the two armies on the north and south banks of the Ganges were on the verge of battle.
Can't they just let a monk move if he wants? It's not a tale of a love triangle.
I'm sure that's what Ānanda really wanted to say at that time. Worried that the soldiers were about to start killing each other, Ānanda stood up in the boat, rose into the air, and suddenly burst into flames.
Wait, what?
In short, he floated up into the sky and instantly ignited. The fire consumed his body, which then split in two. One half fell on the northern bank in Vaji, the other on the southern bank in Magadha. That was Ānanda's end, through what's called the Samadhi in flame. Both armies, grieving that they had driven him to his death, took the remains that fell on their respective sides and performed funeral rites.
Hold on. An old man suddenly floats into the air and catches fire, and nobody even tries to put it out. Wouldn't that be the first thing people do?
Well, it's a legend. If you start adding half-baked realistic details, it kind of ruins the pacing.
Shut up, an amateur.
Ha ha ha. By the way, this version comes from the Great Tang records on the western regions. Other texts, like the Sutra of King Ashoka, apparently differ in the details. And here's a little trivia I found on Wikipedia. How old do you think Ānanda was at the time?
No idea. Around 80.
120.
Wow. Pushing the limits of human lifespan in the BC era, huh?
In ancient myths, extraordinary figures usually live past 100. Longevity and miraculous feats were probably the storytelling trend back then.
You're talking like some story-making expert. Still, it does show that later generations saw Ānanda as an extraordinary person.
And considering that the Great Tang records on the western regions was compiled in the 7th century, nearly 1,000 years after Ānanda's time, and that the Chinese monk Xuanzang traveled all the way to India to study Buddhism, I'd say Ānanda's lifelong efforts really did bear fruit. Though that's just our modern perspective.
Think your own efforts will ever pay off like that?
It'll be clear 1,000 years later. Anyway, thank you very much for staying with us to the end.
This was our first upload, and we know it wasn't perfect, but we hope you'll forgive us.
We hope you'll join us again next time. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel.